Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have we got some fun today? Hey everybody, and welcome back. I'm Katie, cup of tea. If you are new here, hi. Nice to see ya. It's been a while since I've been here. Here's the thing. Finding time to chit chat, talk to a camera is really hard. Instagram is easy because it's like, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. But sit and film and then edit, that's hard. But I'm here for a special reason. We're trying something different today. If you know me, or if you've been here a while, you might know that I like to talk. And honestly, a lot of my videos lately have been informational, which is kind of boring. I have to stay concise and short. Today, we're doing something different. Today, we're having story time. So I've got my Starbucks, and we're gonna have a story. This is something that I wanna do fairly regularly. I just can't decide if YouTube is the best place for this, or if Instagram Stories Live kind of thing is the better spot. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below, or maybe let me know after you've watched all of this and decided, yeah, I really love story time, or yeah, no, not so much, don't really love story time, or yeah, it's great, but maybe over on Instagram, that'd be great. I don't know. Let me know down below. But today, I'm gonna share a story with you. This is probably a story I have shared before, probably on the blog, maybe. But writing stories doesn't do it justice. You have to tell stories, and I love to tell stories. And when you're watching this, my husband and I will have celebrated 10 years of marriage on July 15. 10 years is a long time. I can remember when we first got married, there were friends of mine, their older siblings were like celebrating 10 years of marriage. And I was like, whoa, that's a really long time. I can't imagine us. I mean, I knew we were going to get to 10 years, but it just seemed like so far in the distance. Yeah, no, 10 years like that, really fast. We've actually known each other. We met in 2002. So that would mean we've known each other for what, 14 years? 15, 14, something like that. I don't know. We've known each other for a while, for quite a while. So I thought, in honor of our wedding anniversary, I would share with you the story of how we officially met. And I tried to convince him to join me, and he'd be sitting like right here. But alas, he was like, oh no, this is so embarrassing. I don't want to sit on camera and talk about it. I'm like, oh, come on, we've told the story a million times to people face to face. Just, you see yourself in the camera. It's like talking face to face with yourself, basically. But I couldn't talk him into it. So pretend he's here and pretend he's sharing the story. If this made you chuckle, this whole story that I'm about to share, head on over to the blog. I have a sort of a companion post about some of the big lessons that I personally have learned after being married for 10 years. None of them are probably earth-shattering, but 10 years is a long time to be learning some very simple lessons. And it took me 10 years to learn some of them. So link is down below if you want to learn more and want to have more of a more serious marriage post, which I love being married. 10 years has gone by. So let me share with you the first time my husband and I officially met. Officially. We actually met in 2002. First week of college. We both went to the same small Christian school up in Southwest Michigan. And we actually didn't meet the first week of school. It was actually the week before school started because they had like a freshman welcome thing. And so we were there actually the week before school started. And I remember meeting him in the lobby of the cafeteria. I remember that because we both lived on campus in the dorms. And so I remember meeting him on campus briefly. But I met a lot of people that week. And so that wasn't the memorable moment in my brain. The memorable moment happened a few weeks later. So a few weeks later, we were actually in quite a few classes together that first year, and one of them was this honors religion/history class. It was a pretty big class, and we were in this one together, sat in different spots, weren't sitting next to each other or anything, if that's what you think the story is about, and it's not. For some reason, one of the field trips for that class was going to Notre Dame, which was only about 20 minutes south of us. So we were going Sunday morning to Notre Dame to do Mass at their Basilica. We're not Catholic and we weren't going to a Catholic school, but part of the field trip was going to Mass at Notre Dame. And I don't remember the purpose of it. I don't remember the reason for going to Mass, but that's what we did. So we went to Mass at Notre Dame Sunday morning, and everyone drove down there, met. Now, there was about 50 of us from that class that were going. Because it couldn't take us all at once. But my husband and I were in this group to go, the first batch. And we met there, and it was the wrong weekend to go to Notre Dame because it was a home game, football home game that weekend. So tons of people in town for the home game and decided to go to the Basilica for Mass. Number two, it was alumni weekend. So even more crowded. So by the time we are all 50 of us get to the Basilica, it's actually standing room only at that point. So standing room only, and they put us, our huge group, behind the main, I don't know if it's called altar, main setup. So we're essentially like, everyone's looking at us, like looking at the priest and then us behind. So yeah, that's where we were standing there, all 50 of us, like these little scrubbed, fresh-faced 18-year-olds standing behind all of this action. I didn't put my coffee down. I need two hands. I need two hands to tell a story. Anyway, so we're standing there and service is going on and standing there kind of waiting. My husband was actually standing next to me, and my eventual roommate in college was standing on the other side of me, one of my best friends. So I had them on either side of me, and then on the other side of my husband was one of our professors was with us. And so prayer is going on. They start praying and swinging incense, I remember, because it was like the smell, and it was kind of making, because we're right by the incense swinging, it was like, whoo, it's getting hot. And I remember I had a purse on my shoulder, and I put the purse on the floor because it felt super heavy. I was like, this is like, oh. We've been standing for like 30 minutes. And then during prayer, I noticed that I'm like, ooh, starting to go like this, starting to do a little swirly swirl. And I was like, oh no, I don't feel very good. I don't feel good at all. No, sure don't. And I start a swirling. And then before you know it, I felt myself starting to fall. I was like, I am passing out. I've never passed out before. Oh no, oh no. And this is all during prayer. All during the prayer. And so I grab the first thing I can grab before I fall. My husband's arm. I grab his arm to stop myself from falling. And I grab it, and I'm like, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna fall. And then next thing I know, I'm passed out completely. No idea what's going on. According to my husband, this is what happened while I was passed out. So I grab his arm. I hadn't fallen yet at this point, but I grab his arm during prayer, and he said that he was like, oh, this girl Katie is grabbing my arm. How exciting. Didn't know this would happen today. Hey-o. And then all of a sudden he's like, like pulled to the ground because I have now completely fainted. And he's like essentially carrying dead weight, you know, like, oh my goodness. And so he's like trying to get the professor's attention, like, hello, hello, hello. Because this is all during prayer, mind you. Hello, 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 hello. And my friend on the other side, who knows him, is like, shh, I'm praying. Shh. She has no idea what's going on. Like, shh. And he's like, and the professor's like, shh, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. I was like, but Katie is fainted. I was trying to get their attention. Finally, he said he whooshes me around, passed out, mind you, whooshes me around, and like this, and then, oh, and so everyone kind of goes into like, not panic mode, but like, get her out of here mode. And so apparently I have to like kind of drag me, my husband and the professor kind of drag me out of Notre Dame's Basilica. And at some point the crowd is too thick and my husband can't come with me. And it's just me and the professor. And so I wake up. By the time I wake up is when we hit fresh air and we're outside. And I'm like, what is going on? And I remember the very first thought was, my purse. What happened to my purse? Oh no. But they finally take me outside, sit me outside on a bench, and I'm like being revived, you know, kind of thing. Like, oh, what happened? What? How did I make it outside? And it's not until like 20 minutes later that I realized that I have grabbed the arm of basically a stranger. You know, we had met maybe 2 weeks prior, but grabbed a guy's arm randomly to stop myself from falling. I had no idea I was doing that. And he along with the professor, but my husband rescued me. And it was just like, wow, what do you know? So I remember going back to my dorm room that afternoon, calling my parents on the phone. How was your day? Oh, great. Guess where we did? We went to Notre Dame. Blah, blah, blah. And I fainted. And I grabbed the hold of an arm of this like cute guy. Isn't that funny? And so my parents were like, oh, well, that's interesting. So like fast forward months later, like 4 or 5 months later, I ended up having like a get together at my parents' house who lived like an hour away. This guy comes and I'm like, this is the guy that like caught me when I fainted in Notre Dame. Oh my goodness, how weird. Fast forward like 2 years later, our junior year, we start dating. Isn't that funny? So for our wedding, I think we told that story like 4 or 5 different times. We told it at our reception dinner. We told it at the rehearsal dinner. And then one of my bridesmaids was my friend and roommate from college, who was the person going, shh, we're praying. So she was like a part of the action. She totally was like there and witnessed the whole thing. So that's how my husband and I officially met. And it was like this little moment that like, because obviously now we know each other. And we knew each other, and like, yeah, we had this thing. And but it took us 2 years to actually start dating. We were like really good friends for 2 years, like hung out all the time. We went out to dinner together all the time. In fact, one of our non-date dates before we were dating, we were like, we should go do something. What should we do? Let's go see a movie. Okay, cool. And what do you want to see? Let's go see Passion of the Christ. Yeah, let's go see that. I've been wanting to see that. Who goes and sees that intense of a movie with someone like randomly? Let's go see Passion of Christ. So I remember we're not dating, we're sitting side by side in the movie theater and we're like bawling our eyes out. It was intense. So my husband and I have had quite a few funny memories before we even started dating. And yeah, so that is the story of how we officially met. So I hope you enjoyed story time. Don't forget, if you want to read a little bit over on the blog about the lessons I've learned from 10 years of marriage, then the link is down below. And let me know what you thought of story time. If you want to see more story times, let me know. And let me know if you'd like to see them here on YouTube or over on Instagram, because if you miss seeing me jabber, then I'm definitely on Instagram jabbering a lot on Insta stories, because that's just my favorite place to be these days. So you can always head over there and check it out at KT Cup of Tea over on Instagram. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.